Hello, good evening for those who have the same schedule as me, as I'm in Oslo in Norway. Today is 1st of September. We are almost in a very beautiful full moon in Pisces tomorrow. And my guest, the 11th guest I have for this series, Time of the Feminine, is Amalia Ghiban. Welcome, Amalia. Thank you for receiving the invitation.
Thank you for inviting me.
She presented herself as a life coach and priestess, and I had the pleasure to meet her in 2012, right?
Yeah.
In a workshop of personal development in Portugal. So you are connected with us from Portugal, and I would like that to speak a little bit about yourself, so our ladies, our sisters can get to know better through your own words.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. And in the moment we were scheduling the interview, there were some weeks we couldn't do it, and we said, okay, 1st of September, it's good for both of us. And it's only these days that I realized that, wow, this is a full moon interview and conversation. So everything happening in the same time, and also having this blessed energy of letting things coming to the surface naturally. Okay, a little bit about myself. Many things to say about myself. I'm just going to try to see what comes right now. And specifically in this moment of my life, I feel that I'm in transformation. I'm in a transition period. So even if I can identify myself as a life coach, a priestess of sacred sexuality, a host of women's circles or workshops or retreats, I feel that everything is transforming, and maybe new labels, new words are going to come to me after I get out of this cocoon that I find myself into. I can tell you that since a very young age, I felt that there's a little bit more to life than what they were telling me. And I've always been attracted by what in childhood I consider like secrets, and the things that we'll tell each other in the groups of friends, right? Like, maybe let's talk about the first kiss, the girlfriends and the boyfriends. And it was this part of getting into the teenage years. And then later on, I understood why, because when I left the corporate world after some years in the economic and business environment where I didn't recognize myself at all, I started my own soul search in guiding myself by this idea of that I want to work with people and I want to be of service. Didn't know exactly how that will gonna shape up. So the first stop was a trip to India that changed my life 180 degrees and opened myself up to traveling to really far and distant countries, new cultures, and the connection with spirituality that I was never able to see in the Western European world. After coming back from India, I took my coaching course. I took the development conference that me and Irene, we met there together. So it was a lot of soul searching. And I started to work with people. First, being a life coach, listening and somehow serving the other person to find the answers inside of themselves. And then from there, my path started to open up. Listening to what people were telling me, I started to understand what people need and how can I offer more of that. So I understood that people need spaces to retreat and to reflect. I started to organize retreats. I started to have the messages of what is a deeper understanding of the masculine energy and the feminine energy. So I went in search of understanding myself, what are these two energies? And I, of course, my way of looking at things is like drinking from as many sources as possible and making my own perspective on it. So I drank a little bit from astrology and a little bit from the Hindu approach and a little bit from the shamanic approach and a little bit from the Celtic approach. And of course, a lot of it comes from my own observation of what's happening with me inside of my body and with my life when I start to approach this subject. And then also part of my journey was sexuality. In my coaching conversations, this subject started to be a very normal subject to be approached. So I was like, I need more information besides my own experience with sexuality. I enrolled in a 4-year course on sacred sexuality. And that opened a completely new door. I started to understand more about the women body. What does it mean to have a period, to have menstruation, to deal with the blood, energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally? What does it mean to actually use this womb wisdom as a compass for my life? Then, of course, the sexuality and the pleasure and the shadow part of sexuality, everything that blocks us from actually surrendering to pleasure, and then the bright side of what is it that is happening when we actually surrender to pleasure and we connect that with the divine, not just doing it for the sake of the pleasure, which is also good, right? It's like we all know. And this search of mine then took me where I am right now, doing a lot of different stuff in the same time, everything that has to do with blood, sexuality, death, getting to know our body, reaching to our spirit, I'm interested in. And then I offer all a variety of tools of serving this inner understanding, from coaching to breathing to meditation to dancing to sacred sexuality tools. Everything that I have at hand, I'm here to serve that. So I think that this can be a little bit about myself for now.
It's quite comprehensive and detailed, I would say. A lot of things that you have done, and also that you wanted to explore, and this is a beautiful story.
Thank you.
I will start then with a question that will be, I don't want it to be very shocking, and you are allowed not to answer if you don't, but I think you would, because might be interesting for other women. When was your first time that you really experienced sacred sexuality, and how it was for you?
So first, let me put it into context in what does sacred sexuality mean for me. The same way that we can relate to yoga, meditation, or any other tool that connects us with the divine, I see sacred sexuality in the same way, as a way of communication with the divine. And we can call it God, universe, love, unconditional love, or whatever languages that you use. And it was during my course of sacred sexuality that I also had the first experiences of what that actually means. And what I can say is that it's a state of internal freedom first, of allowing myself to be really seen, naked with other people, not only physically, but spiritually also, and seeing other people in the same way, and understanding that sexuality, it's not only about fucking, but it is the energy that stands for me at the center of everything, is the energy of creation. And when we get in touch with it, we understand that it's not only about introducing a penis into a vagina or whatever. It is about activating this energy inside of us from this point of pure creativity, which is chaotic, and in the same time, it has a structure and it flows in a specific way. And being in that space for me was like, whoa, okay, now I get it. Now I understand what we are trying here to do. It was that course of learning tools for our own personal development and growth, and for serving others to reach there. Is it answering the question?
Yes, I think so. Very, very interesting answer. So I'm just wondering how many of us have experienced this sacred sexuality, alone or with a partner, because I believe both
Both are valid.
are valid, as well as, I mean, we shouldn't do a distinction, because the energy itself can have a very similar expression, with the difference that in one case it's only with yourself, it's self-love, and in the other case it's an exchange of
It's a
energy.
shared
And
experience.
yes,
Yeah.
it's this way. So yes, I think that ladies who will see this interview might try to question themselves about it and see what is the answer. Might reveal something new that is worth it to explore for themselves. So you are a priestess of sacred sexuality. That in I think the ancient word is harlot, and I work with Mary Magdalene, and she is considered to be also priestess of Isis and a sacred sexuality, a harlot too. I actually had finished this vision quest now at the end of August. I had the vision quest online, and she was one of the three faces of the high priestess archetype, or the enchantress archetype, because we were in that quarter of the year where this archetype is very much lived in our cyclic life as women. And I would like to know how or what motivated you to start this path of being a priestess, because this is a very sacred call, but I think it's still a kind of taboo somehow, as sexuality, for example, or sacred sexuality is still very much a taboo. Many people, I suppose, they don't understand what exactly is.
Yeah.
But how this call came to you, because it's not for every woman, but in my perspective, if we recognize ourselves as Mary from Magdala, each of us can be a priestess on her own. So if you want to speak a little bit about your experience, how did you get there, how you started, and
Yeah.
on.
So what we have here to understand, I think, and this for me was very good to take it out of the mysticism of what the priestess means, is that, it's not a title that you receive from somebody and then all of a sudden you upgrade your rank from an ordinary woman to a priestess, and then you're beyond this realm and you just move into different dimensions of planet Earth. It's not at all like this. It was after 2 years of being in the sacred sexuality course, we had this option. If we want to take this line of work, sacred sexuality, to other people and not use the course just for our own benefit, we needed to consecrate ourselves, so dedicate ourselves to this path. So it was, for me, it was clear from the beginning when I enrolled in the course that everything that I'm doing for myself will eventually be put of service to other people. It's something in me that it's clear since a very young age. I want to be of service. I want to be of service. That's it. It's like, I'm here, use me and do your work through me. So when this possibility arose during the course, of course I said yes. And it was a ceremony that we did in which we had to own this compromise with ourselves, that we are going to dedicate ourselves to this work. We had to give ourselves a name. So it's not that the teacher gave us a name. It was our choice, our intuition calling the lineage of the name that we want to bring to work with this. And that's how it was. Like, okay, I'm here to serve. And this is what a priestess does. It's pure service. Of course, it's service in sacred sexuality. So it's in the world of today a more taboo or sensitive work. But for me, freedom, it's a big calling. And knowing that inside of me, the benefits of allowing myself to be free and being able to host the space for other people to do the same is like, yeah, that's what I want to serve here. And believe me, sacred sexuality is not only about pleasure and orgasms. No, it's actually also like doing the hard work of dealing with fears and with shame and with anger before we actually get to expand into what pleasure means.
It's all about the womb at the end, the
Yeah,
womb and our cyclic nature as women.
yeah.
And this is one of the let's say the challenges I have to sometimes when I do my circles and where I write things about spirituality and women world, that how do I express that our center in our personal and spiritual development around our health topics, it's all about the womb. And from the womb, we need to reach the heart. And it's the longest, most difficult path or channel that we can create in our life. Although it seems it's very short because it's between our belly and the chest. But in mental, emotional, spiritual levels, it can be very difficult, very hard to achieve. And many women are scared to start the work because they don't know what it is, because there is a preconception that the womb is something very dark and dirty because we bleed. In many cultures, it's still this. You know, we are considered, even in Orthodox world, women, when they are bleeding, they are considered a kind of dirty being, so they cannot even enter into the church. That is a sacred place. So, from this perspective, what could you say from your experience working with women about how cultural differences, how different way of seeing our body in different, because I suppose you work with women nowadays on an international arena, if I'm not wrong, right? How this can actually impact the way women open for this work, because to start to speak to someone that comes from Middle East, or I don't know, even from an Orthodox country like Romania, about sacred sexuality, I think that they will look to you and they will tell you first, if they are not yet into a mind frame a little bit more open, that you are a little bit like nuts, right? So how do
Fortunately,
you?
I never had that experience, and the people that I meet, because I believe in that, they are all interested in, even if not openly. I can get that looks of like, okay, I see the eyes, and
Yeah.
maybe they don't manifest the interest right away,
Yes.
but I see it. It's like, okay, because only when I mention sexuality, everybody
Yeah.
does it, everybody knows it, but nobody talks about it, right?
Exactly.
And when I add the sacred word to it, it's like, whoa,
What is
that's
this?
a different thing, right? And then fortunately, the women that came and the women that I encounter are called to it. With my mother was interesting to explain her what I do, because I'm pretty open with her. Even if she's having difficulty, and she had difficulties in understanding, right? But it's like, what exactly do you do? Then, no, I do. Depends on the person, but I can do from breathing, from guided meditation, from dancing to massage. Massage everything. Like, everything? It's like, yeah. Inside too, it's like, yeah. And do you do to men too? Yeah, because I work with men and women.
Right.
So Even if it's not with other women, with some of them is like, yeah, we are interested. With some of them is like, okay. I'm not going to say I'm interested, but I am. So maybe I'm going to contact you in private at one moment.
Exactly.
Uh, and then with women like my mother is like, oh, really, you do that? It's like, yeah.
This is, yes. It's a little bit anecdotic, but actually it's how it works, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I experienced, I think it was last year, a session of tantric massage with a very special ritual. Like I felt like I was in a temple and I was really treated in the best way possible. And it was a very intimate massage, of course, with the women in this case, that I never experienced before. And for me, it was something, it was a little bit painful because I had a lot of tension in my body, and the massage helped me release, but I released through crying and sometimes screaming because there were pain and blocks.
Yeah.
But I have to say that actually the fact that she touched in some of my intimate parts, the way she guided the whole massage, it was almost 2 hours, and I had beautiful music to hear while this was doing, so I could relax and everything. I really felt I can trust her, and I didn't feel like abused or, oh my God, what's this? Why did she touch us? It felt very natural, and actually it helped me a lot because I was in a moment of very much stress, and I felt that I was in need of something to reconnect more with my body, with what is inside, and release whatever was necessary. So this is just to give a kind of confirmation to women that is, even if somebody else that is not yourself or somebody that you have intimacy, touches you in intimate parts, if this is guided properly and it's done by a professional, it doesn't feel that your boundaries are crossed over. On the contrary, you actually feel that you are revered and you are served in what your body needs to receive in that moment, energetically and physically and whatsoever. And of course, when it's a ritual, then you have a very beautiful spiritual experience altogether.
Yeah,
And
what I want to say here that from my experience in the course, we were giving massages to one each other in with the group members, right? So the first time that I received a massage from another woman was like, wow, it's incredible to be touched by other women and with this sense of safety, of being held, of being seen, and of knowing that I can express whatever needs to be expressed, like you went through your processes of letting go of pain, of suffering, or of blockages, and know that only because the part that is doing the massage, it's a woman, can connect with those emotional frequency just because we are women and we can do that. We can
exactly.
empathize with each other. And then from the part of giving the massage, the first time that I was in front of a yoni that was available to receive a massage, it was one of the moments that in my life I felt that I'm in front of a divinity and I have the most honor in being able to be in front of this beautiful flower that is the source of life. It's a portal to the other worlds, and me being able to actually touch it and hold it and provide a space of pleasure for it is like out of this mind and this world for me at that moment, right? It was my initiation into putting myself at service for a women body. It's incredible. It's all of us. We are beautiful in all shape and forms, and
Exactly. And
connecting to
colors.
each other from that part, it's like incredible.
Yeah, beautiful. I also know that you have a connection with nature. I know that for a while you lived in a farm with lots of animals, and there are beautiful places in Portugal. Um, is something that nature or the animal world or connected with this world taught you about also how to be more in connected with your body, with who you are as a woman?
I think we had a moment of disconnection, but I think I caught the question is how nature taught me how to be in contact with my own body as a woman, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Regarding where I live right now, believe me that I am at the moment of in my life where I feel that I am ready to take the next step and go even deeper into nature. This is good enough, 30 minutes outside Lisbon, but it's like maybe more forest will be even better. We are cyclical beings as women. And as you were saying, the womb has this wisdom, and through the menstruation, we follow this cycle. And when we start to observe it and connect it, we look at the moon and we see that the moon also follows this cycle, and we see that the earth also follows this cycle. We see that the whole solar system is also follow this cycle, and basically the whole galaxy is following this cycle. And then for me, it's amazing to make this connection of the macrocosmos and the microcosmos. And one of the lessons from nature that I remember right now, there are many, and every piece of nature can really tell us something. The same way I was telling you, I feel like in a cocoon, and I know the caterpillar transforming into a butterfly, it's the most impressive transformation process that nature has to offer, or one of them. And I remember another experience. It was spring, and I was having a walk in nature. And then all of a sudden, on a branch of a tree, I see a dead leaf still hanging from after the winter. And then at the point of the branch, a bud starting to emerge. And then I stared at it for a while, and then I understood in that moment how life and death are holding hands all the time, and there is no such thing as separation in between something ending, something dying, something coming to a stop, and something beginning. They are hand in hand all the time, death and life, ending and beginning. And the same way the cycles inside of us and in our life, right? In my coaching, with my coaching clients, a lot of times we have troubles in letting go, and we are scared of what's coming, when in the moment that we have the courage to let go, let die, get rid of the old, the new, it's already there. It's going to open up, it's going to blossom, it's going to, the bud is going to get out. And I'm like, yeah, nature is showing us year after year how life and death are dancing together. We just forget to observe. That's one that I remember, and I treasure a lot that experience.
Beautiful. Yes, there is death and then a rebirth and then death again. And we are now 4 months to the end of the year, and tomorrow is the full moon. So it's, let's say that in the circle of life, we are close to another beginning,
Yeah.
because it's the ending, but then it's the start again.
Yeah.
It just came to me now that I don't know why, but there might be a reason for this. I want to challenge you, and instead of asking you a fifth and the last question for this interview, I would like to ask you just if you feel, if not, I will find another question. But if you feel that you could tune now inside yourself with your heart, with your womb wisdom, and say a prayer because the one of the, let's say, attributes of tasks that we have as priestesses, honoring our inner nature in connection with this outer nature, is to pray to ourselves, to pray to the goddess, to pray to everything is around, to the spirit, and so on. Do you feel, are you able to compose, to improvise for a prayer as your heart and womb wishes now?
Let's go for it. I'm always up for a good challenge.
Yeah. I don't know why it came. For a reason it came.
Well, we are both sisters working with Mary Magdalene. So
She's challenging us all the time.
she is here. Yeah, she is here. I'm reading a book these days about her, Mary Magdalene Revealed. For the ones of you watching and getting more interest in her, it's a good book to read. Yeah. Okay. So if you want to join me into this tuning, feel free. You can close your eyes, or you can just stop your gaze into a still point. We can drop our awareness, our breath inside of our womb, inside of our belly. Hello, God, Goddess, Father and Mother. I am here. I bow in gratitude for everything that you have ever gave me and for everything that you are still going to provide. I'm praying for my own liberation, for my own evolution, for my own empowerment. May my light enable others to shine. May my tears transform pain into treasures. May my blood bring peace upon this earth. Thanking this space and thanking this moment, to all my guides, to all the energies around, and to all of you that listened, that took a breath with me and allowed this prayer to come to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Mulțumesc. Very beautiful prayer.
Mulțumesc.
Really from the heart. I'm sorry that I have to conclude the interview, but it's what it is because I only have this schedule for 5 questions or 5 topics to be discussed.
Yeah, and I think
I'm
it's
by very
for a video on YouTube, it's good enough.
But still I want to give you the present that I prepared, and it will be a two-folded present because you are Romanian, you are from my own country, I'm Romanian too, And yeah, I felt very much called lately to also connect with women doing similar work as I do, or anyway, working for the goddess and with the goddess and with the womb, uh, and to create more connection among us. So the first part of the gift, it will be in English because it's from a deck that is in English, Goddess Power. I don't know if you have it. I have so many now that, but this is very beautiful. It's quite recent. And then for the other part, it will be a gift in Romanian for you. I'm sorry for those who don't understand it. It will be, but you can actually read it in translation from a book that Osho wrote about compassion. So you just search the book in English if you don't understand Romanian, and I can tell you in English the subtitle of the part I'm going to read for you. That will be a message from this book that I think is very beautiful. But for the goddess power oracle, I want to greet you with a card. So I'm shuffling now, and I will take the card for you. And I wish that you focus on an intention or on something where you feel that, as it is full moon in Pisces, it might be something related with emotions, or I don't know, something that is important in your relationships or something. Anyway, from your intimate core that you want to release or you want to solve and you don't yet know how. Maybe the goddess comes with a message for this, like support.
That was also actually what I was directing my intention towards. As Pisces is this the last sign of the zodiac, bringing an ending.
Yeah.
Um, and it's a sign that can ask us, what are we willing to sacrifice? Understanding here that the sacrifice doesn't need to be correlated with the external or with giving away something that we own. I see it more as an internal sacrifice, as sacrificing my pain or my guilt or my shame, or like helping ourselves to get release from any negative blockages that we still carry, and seeing them as a sacrifice that we can offer.
Yes.
To the full moon. So this is my intention also, to receive the message to this sacrifice that I'm going to do tonight with some friends in front of the fire. As a
Very
small
nice.
ritual.
Beautiful. Yeah. So focus on that intention that you have for releasing, and I will cut with the left, and the first card will be with the message for you. And it says Morrigan, death and magic. Now I can read it. It's the number 38. 38 makes 3 plus 8, it's 11, it's 2, the number.
Well, I'm the 11th.
You're 11? Oh, good. You see? Maybe it's your goddess then. It's Morrigan. It's Celtic, right? It's a Celtic goddess. It's from Ireland. So you have an empowerment message from Morrigan. Consider your life a magical gift and your experience of it a beautiful opportunity to leave the world a better place. You give that gift back when death comes and ends your time on this plane. Experiences, relationships, projects, and even long-cherished dreams are all subject to the natural laws of death and the magic of the Celtic goddess Morrigan. Now is the time for you to let certain parts of your life die and recognize this process as something to celebrate as well as to mourn. Let go with love and gratitude. Leave your fears behind. For in death there is great magic, as nothing can ever be truly destroyed. From the ashes of the old, a new life and new dreams will come to be. Face this time of dying and death with love and courage. Be willing to be empty. Soon, the goddess Morrigan will fill you up with magic, and a new world will be born for you. This is her gift for you when you surrender your resistance and allow things to be as they are. And you also have an alignment message. That was empowerment, and this is alignment. Magic is everywhere and in all aspects of life, including death, dying, decay, and what is dark and hidden deep within our very nature. Yet in our modern culture, we spend so much time in denial, concocting ways to avoid death, refusing to allow nature to be true. We've lost so much wisdom as a result. You're being invited to address the areas in your life that no longer serve and that need to die without a promise of what will take its place. Do you need to walk away from someone, a way of behaving or thinking? Like the caterpillar who has no idea how to be a butterfly, you already mentioned it. You must surrender to the process of metamorphosis. You must make room for the miracle while at the same time not demanding certainty. The magical death goddess Morrigan offers you the Lyman task of self-inquiry. What death are you resisting right now? What darkness do you need to bring to awareness? How was fear ruled? How has fear ruled your choices? Who could you be if you had the courage to look at life on life's terms? Your magic is so much stronger than you think. You can do this. Your dreams depend on it. Morrigan will be with you every step of the way. Wow, I think it's right.
Oh,
The perfect message for your intention. Now you know it and you own it actually.
with what we talked today, I don't know
You
how
will
come death needed to
implement
come
it.
into the conversation today, and then
Okay, so now from Osho, compassion, the supreme blossoming of love, there is a small chapter here that is called Heart and Mind. But I will read it. This is here the page 107, but probably in translations of this book there will be another page. But the subchapter is Hearts and Minds, Answers to Questions. And I will read a little bit in Romanian. Ce înseamnă să încerci să ajuți o altă persoană? Deseori, pare mai degrabă că încercăm să-i schimbăm pe ceilalți în loc să-i respectăm și să-i iubim necondiționat. Puteți spune câte ceva despre acest lucru? Există o diferență foarte mare și foarte semnificativă între a încerca să-i schimbăm și a-i ajuta. Când ajuți pe cineva, îl ajuți să fie el însuși. Când încerci să schimbi pe cineva, încerci să-l schimbi în funcție de ideile pe care le ai. Când încerci să schimbi pe cineva, încerci de fapt să-l transformi într-o copie la indigo. Nu te interesează persoana respectivă. Ai o anumită ideologie, o idee fixă, un ideal în virtutea căruia vrei să-l schimbi pe celălalt. Idealul este mult mai important pentru tine decât ființa umană. De fapt, încercarea de a schimba pe cineva în funcție de un ideal al tău este o practică violentă. Este o formă de agresiune, un efort de a distruge pe celălalt. Nu este iubire și nu este compasiune. Compasiunea îi permite tot timpul celuilalt să fie el însuși. Compasiunea nu are nicio ideologie. Ea este doar un climat. Nu îți oferă nicio direcție, îți conferă doar energia necesară. Apoi începi să te miști. Apoi sămânța ta începe să se dezvolte conform propriei naturi. Nimeni nu te forțează să faci nimic. Când eu spun, du-te și ajută pe ceilalți, mă refer la faptul că trebuie să-i ajuți să fie ei înșiși. Când spun că lumea este nereligioasă din cauza atâtor preoți, mă refer la faptul că prea mulți oameni încearcă să-i schimbe pe ceilalți, să-i convertească, să-i transforme conform propriilor ideologii. Ideea de schimbare nu trebuie să fie mai importantă decât persoana în sine. Nici măcar întreaga umanitate nu este mai presus de o singură ființă umană. Umanitatea este o idee. O singură ființă umană este o realitate. Uită de umanitate și ține minte ființa umană, cea reală, concretă, cea care palpită, cea care este vie. Este foarte ușor să sacrificăm ființele umane pentru umanitate. Este foarte ușor să sacrificăm oameni în numele islamului, al creștinismului, al hinduismului. Este foarte ușor să-i sacrifici în numele lui Hristos sau al lui Buddha. Ajută-i, dar nu-i sacrifica. Cine ești tu să sacrifici pe cineva? Fiecare individ își estesiești scop, nu îl folosești ca pe un mijloc. Acesta este sensul cuvintelor lui Isus. Sabatul este făcut pentru oameni, nu oamenii pentru sabat. Totul este creat pentru om. Omul este valoarea supremă. Până și ideea de Dumnezeu este făcută pentru om. Nu omul este făcut pentru ideea de Dumnezeu. Sacrifică totul pentru om, dar nu sacrifica niciodată omul pentru nimic în lume. Abia atunci poți spune că ajungi. And I think I stop here because then they go more and there are other pages, but yeah, I don't want to read the whole subchapter. I think you get the message, and I think it's very much in line with what actually you shared from your experience. So you're a wise woman. You already are able to be compassionate and to help many people that cross your path. As you said, it's already something that you felt very young. So I just want to wish you that you can continue with the same energy and love as before.
Thank you so much.
I enjoyed very much talking to you.
Me too. Really happy we did this together.
We connected after so many years, and yeah, it's really a pleasure to have you here. And I really like the way you speak. You are really an embodiment of Mary Magdalene. Oh, not only her priestess.
My next step is going to France and visiting her cave where she spent her last 30 years of her life. So I hope she gets beautiful. Me to her.
Yeah, there are many sacred spaces where her spirit can be envisioned, and you can pray to her in that place. I think it will be a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Amalia. And for those who will listen and will see this interview, I hope you will enjoy. I'm sure you will enjoy. It will be very soon available once I save it and I upload it. And see you next time for the 12th interview. I hope I'll be able to make it soon with another sister from Oslo, from here. Thank you.
So much.
Take care.
So much,
sleep well. Sleep with angels. Bye-bye.
Bye.